And my name is Rejoice. I'll be your host. So my guest today is an international speaker. He's a life coach, in public administration. He wears many other impressive hats. So I'm just gonna let him, introduce himself better and tell us more. So, sir, please tell us more about yourself and how you came about to be in the educational industry in Nigeria.
Well, thank you very much. I'm so excited to be here. Good evening, esteemed viewers. My name is Dr. Samuel Takono Jong. Um, I'm from Cross River State, um, Lagos by nurture. Why Cross River by nature? Yeah, and also at that time I've also done some stuff in Europe, Asia. Um, some years back, I think about 18 years now, I got into the education circle where I started recruiting students for international admissions. And in one of the university, pick up an interest and feels that okay with my qualification, they want me to come in and work as a registrar of the university. So that is how I got into the administrative aspect of the university. Sorry, and afterwards, I did that for some while. I now got into some certain knowledge exposure to also want to work as a partner of the university. Then I told them that I don't want to take salary anymore. Can I get involved by also being part of the university? It was crazy, discussing this with my boss then. He just look at me that is it that you want to kill me to take over my business or something? But then I pick up a book on Retire Rich, Retire Young, and also How to Sack Your Boss by Robert Kiyosaki, and also IQ and all that. So I pick up all these materials, I digested them, and I felt okay. There's a better way outside salary, which is franchising, networking, business, company creation, investment, and all that. So I choose franchising, and I've been doing that. And when I pick up that, it was not. He accepted for a period of time. And after he gave me the first money, it just saw that within 3 months I was able to have 5 million naira. And the first 5 million when my salary was 150,000, and this guy is
Wow.
taking 5 million, then there's a problem for me. So then they started fighting me in the office. I walked away when I left the business. I had to now look for another university. I told the university, okay, I want a franchise where I'm going to run with your name because this was a francophone university. And I'm going to run the English program and bring in Nigerian students into this country with my experience and network. And then I started. And in less than 6 months, I got about 1,000 students into the university. And I was giving the owner of the university 15%, and I was having 85%. So from there, I became a don.
Wow.
I started having so much money. I became a don. I became an authority in the business because I began to see evidences. And a lot of universities now began to contact me from different parts of the world. So on that note, because I
Wow.
want to sincerely tell you that evidence terminates argument. My CV is on the basis of my results. So, and when they saw the result, it was more than just words, just more than talking. And on that note, I picked it up like that. From there, I had to come back to Nigeria 2018 to also extend my experience, wealth of knowledge, and also investment to Nigeria. I came up to Nigeria. I built a college of health on the 10 acres of land called Crown Point College of Health Science and Technology. I was able to put that up. Then I started a business school, Dove Business School in Lagos. Then, after that, I started consulting for universities. And presently, I'm the lead consultant for Villa University in Nigeria, in Cross River State, basically, and some other university like that in Nigeria, which I'm also consulting for. And it's been so exciting and interesting because I was able to discover my purpose, that my purpose was more in redirecting the course of African education towards the vision, the real vision that we have and before the intrusion of new colonialism, and that was my interest. And I'll tell you, it has given birth to a lot of stuff I do today. The same project has taken me to about 48 countries, you know, meet several governors, presidents, ambassadors, and all that. So it's been so exciting. It's been a very great journey. Although at some point it was tough, but it's been a very great one for me and all that. So I think that's just a brief because I don't have to just push too much because there's a lot to talk about, So
I think you're just the right person to be talking to right now about this because considering that you've worked in other parts of the world, you understand how education works there, and so you can be able to talk about the standard of education that we have. So when it comes to the education sector in Nigeria, I think I'll be able to get to it by saying that it is chaotic at the moment. There's a lot going on. There's Nigeria being having the highest number of out of school children. There's a lot of things going on. But I wanted to know, what would you say are the reasons why education is failing in Nigeria currently?
well, first I want to say that even before now, what was left over for us, if you have to trace from the history of colonialism, what was left over for us was not education. What was left over for us was school. They took education from us and they gave us school. And what is sustaining us today is not even the school. What is sustaining us today is revelation. Because we can pray a lot. Yes, which is the highest and the advanced level of schooling. Because if you look at the word school, it does not bring the best out of you. It brings the weakest part of you. It brings you to a state of confusion. It brings you to the state of fear. It brings you to the state of principle without platform. It brings you to a state of hopelessness. It brings you to the state of laboring. And that is why when you see our young ones going into the university, they will tell them you are going to go to labor markets and all that. They end up teaching them principle of laborers. When they finish from the principle of laborers, they will now go to labor markets. When they are done from labor markets, they now go to Nigerian Labor Congress. So why is it that everything they have is labor all through? But if you go down abroad or you go to the Western world, you will see working Congress. So it means that we are busy but not working. And another thing I thought has been a problem is that we need to return back to the basics of our curriculum. Our curriculum has failed us, and most of our academias, they've taken that route by leaving the country and leaving the young ones hopeless, going to look for better green pasture and all that. And what they also have were also this laboring principle. Because if they have gotten a working principle, things would have worked. So most of the policy they felt they can interpret for us have really kept us into the state of quagmire. And if you also look at it again, government policy, kind of people we have in the system of government, sometimes they are not educated, they are banks of illiterates and all that. They've got some money, they've made some money because the educated ones were not interested in governance. And now that the educated ones are trying to come back, the bad eggs, the bad ones, the gangsteries, that guy that is not educated and all that, who has got some degree from somewhere, has now taken over. So the one that is educated is now beneath. So with that, they've subdued the proper structure of standard education into what we have today. And that is why we're suffering it. And because some of them knew that they failed, they left. And the ones that refused to leave have been the interpreter of the abnormalities of this governance, of governments. They've been the interpreter of corruption. They've been the one making them feel as if what they are doing is right, and they have grammar to represent, grammar to use in front of their failure and all that. And on these notes, even the young ones have lost hope in wanting to even return back to that schooling environment. And if you look at the environment very well, if you go abroad today, you won't see burglary windows, burglaries on any window. Everywhere is open. You can go to school, you can do everything, you can return back. But today, we are like prisoners of hope. We have burglaries on every of our school windows. Why? Because what they've succeeded to raise were laborers. We still have the slave mindset. We still have the laboring mindset. We still have we still have we are still in prison. Our mind is in prison. And with that, we are not ready to see anything. And right now, whatever is given to us on the basis of survivor, we take it in place of knowledge. And that is why a lot of things is going so down. It's going so down. And no research, no support for research. And how would that be support for research when the one at the top is not even interested in education? And what the Fed could give is not educated, it does not even understand, because you cannot give what you don't have. It is what you have you want to give. So when you know that you don't have what it takes, then whatever any other person is speaking is just some sort of bamboozlement, sort of mobujumbo, and nobody's interested. So it's a very big disappointing state. A lot of young people have lost confidence, and even the education we felt we're giving them, we're just giving them principle without platform. You will see a graduate who will go for an interview, is even scared of interaction because they were just giving theory all through and giving theory that is not relevant to present or contemporary state of life. You'll be telling somebody principle of 1818 and it's no more existing in 2023. So the person is still having that in his mind. So it's like taking the person backwards spiritually, but letting the person physically be existing with realities that is not sure. So a lot of issues. You know, it's something that if we begin to say we want to dig into, you know, but it's heartbreaking and it's disheartening. I don't know, you know.
While you were talking, you mentioned the curriculum. You also mentioned those in charge not being educated. Now there's TED Fund, which was established to, you know, take care of like tertiary schools and, you know, attend to needs of university. But why do you think there's still that issue of infrastructure, that issue of you know, no standard libraries, no standard classrooms, no proper research equipment and all of that? Why do you think that is, even with TED Fund, you know?
Corruption. We cannot survive without corruption. Corruption has eaten us so deep, we're like goats that could not survive without grasses. Corruption has taken over every aspect. Even the ones we felt they're educated, they're even the worst. That is where we talk about principle without platform, because what they also have in their mind is like principle of somebody who is in prison and is trying to look for freedom. So they are not seeing the reality of these things. It's corruption, and misplacement of leadership. You know, sometimes this money will be released to a brother, will be released to a sister, and the brother is in the world of the seat. They have nothing to say, nobody have anything to say. And how many schools are also benefiting this? Even the money, when it comes, who are the people taking it? Where is it going to? So the system has been fraternized. The level of corruption is now fraternized. That corruption has become a cartel thing. So with that, nobody is seeing, and they are not scared of the ones coming behind. They are not scared of the one coming behind. They are not scared of the ones coming behind. They didn't know that the next governor, the next president of their future is there. So it is so heartbreaking and so disappointing. And it will keep failing because they felt that who gave it to us, and how do we not give it to others when we've not gotten? So they cannot give what they've not enjoyed. They cannot give what they've not experienced. So they are only giving with the state of their mind and the exposure of their realities. So that is just what I feel.
Okay. Other than, you also mentioned corruption, but initially I mentioned how Nigeria has the most number of out-of-school children in the whole world among every other country. And I think that could be because, one, insecurity, secondly, poverty. When it comes to insecurities, I'm really curious. What do you think can be done to like reduce this number and like make more children go to school in Nigeria? Is it building more schools? Because there are lots of schools that are coming up now. A lot of federal universities are being built recently. starting from even the past administration. A lot of private schools are being built. That quality is another topic on its own. But what do you think? Is that really the way to go? More kids back to school?
As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why insecurity has just gone beyond two fighters. Insecurity has gone to a point is now a lifestyle, and a lot of people have merchandised insecurity that they don't even care if anybody needed to be safe. We've got to a point whereby we feed on each other ignorance, we feed on each other confidence, and poverty. Because an hungry man will want to tell you, why do I need to go and sit down somewhere to want to impute knowledge into my head when I've not eaten for the day? Poverty. And this poverty is bettered by just the very few who have decided to keep the money of 1 million people in a family of two. And that thing alone, and they cannot even finish the money. So with that, they've rendered other major aspects of the population hopeless and helpless. So they are now begging for survival. They are not begging for survival. So at some point, they are not even interested. Who said there are not a lot of structure? Nigeria have the highest number of infrastructure that is dilapidated, highest number of structure that is wasted. There's no state you get to. You will see buildings they've abandoned for 10 years, 5 years. Is it that those buildings cannot be converted to school? Is it that those buildings cannot be refurbished? And some of them end up going to open private businesses, all because they want to also have influence on it, and the design policy that is suitable for them. If you go to Rwanda today, public school is even far better than private schools. Private owners were jobless some years back. They were jobless. Because people are no more going to their schools. These schools were open for everybody. And they made it so affordable even for the least person to return back to class. But today they make it so difficult. Policies have strangulated even private business owners, that the poor cannot even afford to go to a private school. So what is not the essence of private institutions? The public one, even the secondary school I graduated from, I went to the secondary school recently. I saw the students sitting on bricks. No chair in the classroom. Even the rain were falling, they were just bathing inside the classroom. It has gone that bad. It has gone that bad. So until when we'll be able to tell ourselves some certain truth, and we start having the right people in the right position, we start beginning to understand that what is exactly the vision of our country. When you look at the national anthem, if you read it so closely and spiritually, you burst to tears. Because that was a pain testament of those who are interested in the growth and development of Nigeria. Many years ago, our president were as important as President of America. That if any president from Nigeria is to leave Nigeria to US, there will be a standstill at the immigration unit waiting for Nigerian president. But today, reverse is the case. Because there's a loss of identity. We've lost our identity. We've lost ourselves. We now have what they call shame culture. We are not even ashamed of corruption anymore. We do it so confidently that we can go anywhere and we boast around it, and we feel that we don't care about anybody. Shame, no shame anymore. No shame, no shame. And the people who are not facing the shame are the helpless.
Yeah. So I can't help but please talk about the hike in school fees, the hike in everything, but let's focus on school fees. Like I said before, all the schools that are coming up, school education is becoming more and more expensive. Now, I feel like we're not exactly getting the value of what we pay for, because it's becoming expensive, and at the same time, the quality is dropping. Now, talk about the quality of teachers, very poorly trained teachers, and then the school fees is high up there, which even made students protest a few weeks ago. I don't know what do you think? Talking about funding, paying teachers, school fees increasing. What do you have to say about that, sir?
As a matter of fact, to me, I know education is not cheap. Even prostitution is not cheap. For you to be,
But I feel like if it's going to be expensive, we should be getting the value of
yes,
what
we
we're
have a
paying for.
problem of quality assurance. We're only deceiving ourselves. We know how to write a lot of papers. We do a lot of seminars, a lot of papers, a lot of symposiums, but we lack the integrity of execution. And we don't even care because we feel that nobody can do us anything. They become so powerful. They get to a point whereby a governor is making noise and at the point of talking, they throw tire on his head and put fuel. I'm sure that if they do that to one or two, probably there would have been some level of they will reset their brain and they will start saying they're doing the right thing. But it's so bad that they don't feel that they can do anything and go with it, you know. And when you look at the cost of things, is it that they don't know? They are aware. They are aware. They've been satanized. They've been demonized. They just feel that they've gotten to a certain level whereby their soul is sold out, their conscience is sold out, and they don't give a damn about anybody anymore. Even their kids don't even study in this institution we're talking about, because if their kids are there, they will be interested.
Exactly. They know
Their
that
kids are not here. Their kids go outside to want to have education outside. They are not interested. So their kids will still come back to want to rule over the poor. But it's going to be so disheartening that when they will be returning back, the poor will be so aggressive and would have become so notorious that even they will start dropping their children. We will start seeing each other killing each other on the streets. And that is what they've not been able to understand. And they were able to come back to the drawing board and tell ourselves some truth. Nigeria has grown to a point that we have capacity to even tell our kids go to school without paying a dime. Is it that we don't have the money? We know how much we generated from crude oil. We have all that natural resources that you can never find in different parts of the world. It's enough to even take care of our educational sector. If we can take care of our educational sector, we can take care of our power, we can take care of our infrastructure. I tell you, this country will be a better place to stay. You know, if those three things can just be solved, and also our health system, if this system be taken care of, everybody will be fine. But they don't do their treatment here. They don't even believe in the doctors they train. They don't even believe in the lecturers that they graduated. They don't even believe in the engineer they trained.
Poorly trained teachers. Once a teacher is poorly trained, what do you think he would impact? You know, the impact will have on a student. Because of time, on a lighter note, some people will argue that the advent of AI would make students lazy, is doing more harm than good in education in Nigeria, all over the world, but let's focus on Nigeria. So what is your take on AI and also online education in Nigeria? What is your take on that?
But as a matter of fact, artificial intelligence is the way to go because it's a global phenomenon. It's something that has come to stay. And we are getting to a certain level of 5G. So there's an increase in technology. So we have not even exhausted 5% of our mental capacity. So if that is the way to go now, it's not bad. Those things can only work in a system, in a country that have a system, that have a structure. You know, they will appreciate it more. Our mind will be stretched. There's no Nigerian child you take out of here to a very comfortable environment that will not be the best in that school or anywhere they get to, because naturally we are tough-skinned, we are very intelligent, we are very smart. We are very smart. And when it comes to these things are good ideas, but do we have the facility to sustain those things? First, do we have light? Second, do we have internet? Third, do we have network? Fourth, do we even have a comfortable environment to have that? Exactly. I've worked in countries whereby students are in class till 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. in the night. I work in countries where students are in class 10 p.m. They still want to have their classes under a comfortable environment, and they still go home. They still want to go to work. They still want to have the best of time. I've consulted in Dubai. I've consulted in so many other countries, and I see the way things are done there. You know, you have this thing. That is what boosts their confidence. But there's a loss of confidence. There's a loss of integrity. We don't have this thing. So bringing up these things is like putting a old wine in a new bottle with deceit. And you know, how many institutions can even afford even a comfortable portal? How many students have access to laptop? You see that government cannot even provide
But,
those things. How many students have access to even technology? We have even
but
university
other
graduates who
than,
cannot even work.
yeah, other than the sustainability and access to these technologies, would you say that artificial intelligence would make students lazy?
As a matter of fact, naturally we are not lazy, but over the years we have been busy without working.
Yeah,
We have been busy without working. We are busy. We know how to exhaust 24 hours. But do
busy
we
doing
have what
nothing.
is equitable to 24 hours? And we end up doing nothing. That is why when we come out confused. If you go to places like Dubai, you see a child who go to class for 3 weeks. After going for a certificate program, he get a job immediately, start working. If you want another promotion, you go for another certificate course. Because they feel that why will I go and study accounting for 4 years and I'll still go to bank and bank will have to send me for a training. And those things will not be relevant. So these are big issues. So it's not going to make anybody lazy. It's just going to activate our intellectual capacity, our intellectual power. It will take us to another phase, a global phase where we'll be able, at least the people who introduced it, they are seeing beyond. They are seeing 100 years before now. So it's going to stretch our mind. But we need to have a comfortable environment to enjoy these intellectual revolutions.
So that brings me
Otherwise,
to,
yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
I'm sorry, it's because of time. Sorry, sir. But that brings
Yeah.
me to, asking you the flagship question of this entire show, which is,
Yeah.
what would you do if you were to become the president of Nigeria for 24 hours?
Okay. I think I've I think I've been talking more on education. I'm going to take it from there.
Yeah,
First,
actually, in the educational sector is what I mean. What would you change? What would you do in the
yes,
education in
first
Nigeria
thing,
to change it?
what I would do first is that I'm going to do what they call, I'm going to do a fumigation. Fumigation in the sense that I will recall all the principal officers from different angle, different positions to reapply. And we have to check. If you have been in service and you are at the age of 60, I will tell you to go back home and rest and do other things.
That's like the majority.
And we have a lot of them there who are still teaching with the analog system. So we have to
Yeah.
take them out of this. And except we have those who are exceptionally impactful and different with some rewarding and awarding qualities that we can work with, they will just be in the advisory. That is one. Two, I will now design policies on how to help to see that every kid resume back to school, every child go back to school. We'll also look for policy integration to see how we can get fund to, because if we can successfully return our children back to school, then we're going to get a light in the national development. So that is just that. And I will also see that as soon as these kids go to school, they also have penny in their pockets. All of them have an innate dream, innate visions inside them that nobody have been able to look into. We're going to have a round table classroom, a round table class, whereby bringing forth you have from inside of you, and we'll be able to implement it either by sponsorship or something. And I tell you, you begin to see a lot of creativity. Go and see 15 years old, 8-year-old child in America and all that. You see them inventing all sorts because they are given opportunity to to talk about what they have inside of them. You will know that these kids, there's a God in them. And
Yes, I
also
was
work on
talking about that. You
infrastructure.
know that other parts, like in other rural areas in Nigeria, why most kids don't go to school is because of insecurity. First of all, Boko Haram, apart from burning down all the schools in that area, there's also that fear of, so if you're going to set up policies, like you said, to make every child go back to school, what about the insecurity? How would you tackle that fear they
As a
would
matter of
have?
fact, before now, we don't have anything called insecurity. Insecurity started about 9 years ago. There was nothing like insecurity. The insecurity we have today is politicized. It's just political retaliation where this person is using it to fight the other person. So what we just have to do is that area will be looked into, whereby we need to come onto the drawing board and ask ourselves the truth on our interest. And when you look at this level of insecurity, it is born out of individual interest. A lot of persons. So also those leaders will be taken care of, because everybody need to come on the. We need to have a sort of a referendum. We need to sit down and tell ourselves the truth. We need to come back to the drawing board and tell ourselves, is this the kind of country we want to have, or want to have country of our dream? And in having the country of our dream, we should also be right. Life will also go for it. It's not going to favor everybody, but let it be favorable to our children who will be left behind. In the next 10 years to today, so many of them will be out of space. But what will be the fate of those left behind? So that is just that. So the insecurity is a very large and very big aspect to begin to talk about. So, and also we'll have structures, we'll have security services also kept in these places. Security services should be accountable to the well-being of the kids. Ordinary Republic of Benin there, every 3 citizens have access to one police. Every 3 citizens have access to one police. So it means that if you have 100 citizens, you have 25 police. So you are safe. You are safe. So everybody feel important.
That's our time for today. I wish we could continue because I still have a lot I want to ask, but maybe next time. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you so very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right,
And
guys.
thank you for the opportunity.
Right. Yeah, you're welcome, sir. Thank you for honoring the invitation. So, guys, that's it for today. Please join us same time next week for another episode. And we're going to be having another person from another industry answer questions. This show is aimed at join us make Nigeria better, and you can contribute in the comment sections. If you have a question for me to ask our guest, you can put it as a comment and I'll see it and I will ask our guest. All right, my name is Rejoice once again. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.